All right, Katie. So I'm just kind of taking a look at the charts right here. You sent us a bunch of charts. Right now, I'm looking at where the S&P is right now. It's actually below, about 3% below, which you said is the support level of about 57.83. Does that mean that we're near a bottom? What are the charts telling us?
Well, we hope we're near a bottom, but we don't have indications of an intermediate term low yet. We do have indications of a short term low. We really have to be very focused on the time horizon here. Our daily indicators are now very oversold, as you could imagine, but also they're being enhanced by what are oversold indications from the market internal measures. And those include things like sentiment and leadership and volume and breadth. Volume has been exceptionally high of late, and we tend to see that around emotional or somewhat climactic lows. So we do have those short-term indications that are somewhat counter trend. However, our intermediate term indicators, those are things like the weekly MACD indicator or the weekly stochastic oscillator, those just aren't there yet. They are not at the point where we would feel confident that we have an intermediate term low, even if we get a good bounce here, as is indicated by those internals.
Okay. So when we're looking at the broader market, there's obviously a lot of questions. A lot of stocks can be impacted differently by tariffs. I want to kind of drill down, if you don't mind, very quickly on NVIDIA. Taking a look at the NVIDIA charts, NVIDIA more than 20% off its 52-week high. Are you seeing a bottom when it comes to the chip maker?
It is pretty remarkable, the decline that we've seen from NVIDIA, and yet the S&P 500 hasn't done even worse than it's done of late. The decline gave way yesterday in NVIDIA to what looks like a breakaway gap. A breakaway gap is a short-term bullish development. So we do also feel that NVIDIA may have a short-term low in place here, or at least is establishing one. And with initial resistance up around 130 for NVIDIA, that bounce could be somewhat significant. We would see it as a relief rally, perhaps for people to reduce exposure into, if not already. NVIDIA, as is obviously evident on the chart, has lost long-term upside momentum. So there's been meaningful impact on our monthly indicators to suggest that this is sort of the start of it, not the end of this consolidation phase for this stock. We think it could be persistent, maybe lasting even months or towards year end. So we don't think we're going to get much in the way of upside out of NVIDIA from a long-term perspective at this time. And with that in mind, we'd be a better seller of strength.
All right, here's a tough one for you, Katie, because talk about the broader market having a lot of factors. I want to talk to you about Tesla. Certainly a lot of factors in this stock, down more than 34% year to date. What are the charts telling us about that?
The downdraft, it's really a round trip of what we saw since Q4 of last year, which was a major breakout on the chart. As it's come down, the stock has taken out numerous support levels. So it had a lot of opportunities to find buyers, and they just weren't there. And of course, it wasn't helped by a weak tape as well. So with the support levels having been taken out that we were watching, again here, we can't be convinced that an intermediate term low is imminent, but indeed Tesla has additional support right around 220 as the next level to focus on. And of course, it is oversold. It's more oversold than the major indices because of the downdraft that it has seen. We're just watching and waiting for more decisive counter trend buy signals. And that can come in the form of perhaps a stochastic upturn. It basically reflects improved short-term momentum. We don't have that yet. But if we see a week or two of stabilization, as we're expecting from the major indices, we should see Tesla bounce alongside that and even outperform during a bounce, because these are names that even yesterday, when we had a little bit of an update finally from the market, we saw these mega cap names outperform. And that's something we would expect during a bounce.